Hello and welcome Facebook, and welcome Instagram, and welcome YouTube to the fortnightly live Q&A with Chris Donnelly, Builder. Hello there everyone. I think that might work as an intro, I don't know. Just playing around. So, how have you all been? How's life in the whatever you do, because I know it's not just builders that follow me. Tell me what you guys have been up to, your builders, etc., tradies, what have you been working on? If you're not a builder or a tradie, let me know what you do. You might follow me and I might have no idea what you do for a job or what your qualifications are. Might learn something, might find something in common. So let me know and we'll just let this... let the live streams populate. Facebook's always a bit quiet. The following there is a little bit small, but we're slowly building that up. So, welcome everyone, and may as well kick it off. So, if you've got any questions, down about there somewhere, probably on your phone, there's like a little badge that has a question mark. So, push that and type in your question. And what I'll do is I'll try and keep up with the comments this time around. It's all a learning experience with the live Q&A to try and sort of figure it out and how to make it work and make it work well. So what I'll do is try and keep up with the comments, because you guys often respond to what I'm saying, but I finish what I'm saying and then I get to your comment like ages down and I'm like, oh yeah, whoops. So if you put the questions and down that little question, that little question tab, I will basically follow you up on your questions there. So just a quick scroll back and we'll see who we've got here. We've got a few. Got Kay Manderson, who is Katie May. Got a few people joined in. Kay Manderson, well, I'll just call you Katie May. Katie May hasn't been here for a while. No, you haven't been. Where have you been? And we've got a wave from Amy, and Amy's the first time that you've made it, so welcome Amy. You're going to love it. Stay for the whole time. I highly recommend it. And hey, if you have to shoot away, you can always watch the replay on YouTube. So what I started doing with the YouTube replay is posting up. What have I done with it? I've done a few things with it. I go through quickly and I put the time of some of the key things that we're talking about. So last time, there's a few questions, so I was able to highlight those questions. Just got a notification come up. Just check that. Wait, cool. All right. Hello. So I guess since last time I chatted to yous, this is me checking my checking messages and notifications on my phone because I don't want to touch my screen. So I feel like I'll end up leaving the live stream, and nothing important. So since we last had the live Q&A, what was I doing? So I finished the reno that I was working on. So I finished that on Saturday. Did a big blitz on Saturday. I thought it'd be better to finish the week at the weekend rather than finish the job at the weekend rather than going back on a Monday to finish off. So it meant that my whole week started off nice and fresh. And we've got school holidays as well, so I'm able to be a little bit flexible this week and spend some time with the kids, which has been really good already. I've had some good times. I took Griffin into Toolshed yesterday, and we were there for a bit talking to Cam there and chatting about Powertools while Griffin was pointing at the DeWalt logos and constantly just letting me know where all the DeWalt tools were in the store, which was pretty cool. Finished the reno, and now we're just sort of work through the final payment and get that through, and the clients want to get us around for a barbecue because they're absolutely wrapped with the job that we've done. I say we, but it's mostly me, with a bit of help here and there. I will hopefully get some nice photos of that kitchen and the bits and pieces. You would have seen bits of it in my posts. Get that up so you can see how it all looks, and I've got a whole lot of content from that job and I've got a plan for that, so you guys will know about it when you see it. And there was a job that I was talking about which I was really excited to do. It had been pricing and potentially was coming up, but they've gone and cancelled it, so that job that I was really looking forward to doing, it was only a small job, but it just meant like I could do a whole lot of cool stuff with the DeWalt cutoff saw, but wasn't able to. But that's all good. We've still got this new build that we're working towards, and was just having a few issues where the council wanted a geotech report, or an up-to-date geotech report, so obviously there's a bit of delay before a geotech can even look at it, so that's sort of putting things off there. So I'm just trying to fill my days and my weeks coming up with some smaller jobs, which I do have some smaller jobs, so I've just been busy and I hadn't really quoted them, so that's kind of this week's stuff. Do some quoting, do some business development, and yeah, get ready for the next phase of what Christianly Builders is doing, and also having a bit of fun playing around with some content, because when I feel like I don't have a job on my mind, I think I get a bit more creative. So if you hadn't seen my story, have a look at it after the live feed, and yeah, I'm just having fun making videos at the moment. And that one went viral. Oh my gosh! Like, did you guys, hands up? Like, okay, I'm pretty sure you would have all seen it, but hands up, give me a wave if you have seen that latest post that I put up on Sunday night. That post went just totally viral, like just constantly giving me notifications about people liking that post. And I was a little skeptical, so I was looking at all the different, occasionally I'd like kind of audit who they were, and they were real people. They weren't like what do you call it, bot accounts or anything like that. But they the view count is about 18,000 at the moment, and it's about 1,300 likes. And for me, I only get about between 100 and 120 likes on a post, and then if it's a good one, my best one is about 8 months old, has about 340 likes. So 1,300 likes in 24 hours. That was it was crazy, and it was encouraging, because it was I kind of was experimenting with the type of video and the hashtags I was using. So knowing that worked and worked well is a good bit of a guideline for what sort of content is a goer on Instagram if you want to kind of have a viral video. So yeah, well, that's basically my my sort of intro and my catch up after a fortnight. Probably there's bound to be other stuff that would happen, but anyway, I've got a question that's popped up down here, so I'm going to check what that is, and we will carry on. Everyone else busy? Like everyone else cranking? Got heaps to do? Alright, so I've got a couple of questions. I'm just going to read them. Wait a minute with that. I was going to read them, but it's coming anyway. Do you think being on contract or wages is better if you're working under someone? That's a good question. So for me, I spent a good part of 10, 12 years on wages. There's an element of job security, so you, especially if the company's a big company. I was working for a big company, so always had plenty of work, especially if you made yourself valuable, so that if things got a bit quiet, you weren't on the sort of the fringes, as it was hemorrhaging when it was really busy, and then when it got quiet, you just got dropped off. So I was I was very central in the company, so they had a lot of investment in me for a whole lot of reasons, so that was a lot of job security there. And it probably would have taken a huge crash for that company to fall apart and for me to lose a job, be made redundant there. So I was pretty secure. So wages was great, because you always knew sort of how much time you had to have holidays. You had sick pay. You just didn't worry about things. You just put your timesheet in, and the money went into your account, and all you had to do was just budget what you did with your money when it came in. So it's easy. If you want a bit of stress-free sort of living, you just want to get in, just go to work, then just do wages and just work really hard, and keep reminding your boss if you think you want a pay rise as well, because that's the other side of it. But when I decided to leave there, I went on contract. So I was on contract for a builder and a few other, well, just the one builder, and it was good. Personally, in hindsight, looking back, it wasn't a very good contract rate, so it technically would have been better off at the previous company. So if you're going to go on contract, you need to know what you're worth, and you need to know like the actual numbers of what you should be getting charged out at, or charging yourself out at. And I won't say anything online about any of what those numbers actually are, but I could, if you DM me, I could give you some pointers. But you need to cover all your expenses, and you need to know what all your expenses are. And anyone that's offering a rate that's less than what you actually want to earn, there's no point like working for less than minimum wage because you want to go on contract. I don't think there's any benefit in that. But if you do go on contract and you find someone that's going to pay a decent contract rate for you, then yeah, absolutely do it. I know there's companies that will only take on contract guys; they won't take on wage employees. There's pros and cons. Like you don't have like a set amount of holidays that someone's just going to give you. If you take the day off work, you don't get paid for that whole day. But if you're on wages, obviously you get paid for that day. You've kind of technically earned it, but you still get paid. But if you're not that great with your money, I would say just hold off being on contract, or you can budget tightly so that you know to have a bank account that you can put the extra money away for when you do take a holiday. And yeah, so you've got to make sure that you're allowing for that in the contract rate, that you're not just contracting enough that you can live day to day, but that you're contracting enough that you've got money being put aside for all your expenses, your fuel, your tools, your workwear, your PPE. There's a whole lot of expenses, and I wouldn't dare go on contract until you understand and know those expenses. So ask around. There's definitely some groups on Facebook where you can ask questions as well like that. And yeah, again, DM me and I can give you a bit of advice on what to look out for. I mean, I'm still learning about certain expenses. They kind of pop up, especially when you're running a business, because that's the other side of it. If you're doing contract, you're the person that you're contracting to. If you're a sole trader, I'm pretty sure they technically should be taking withholding tax. Don't quote me because I still don't fully understand that whole thing, but they will be taking, when they're paying you, they're taking the tax out of that and basically giving it to the government for you. So when you have a whole lot of expenses, and this is what the problem was when I was contracting, is the withholding tax was being taken out, and but I had a whole lot of expenses, and they weren't, obviously that's like money just gone that I was going to get back in a rebate at the end of the year, but it would have been nice to have had that money then to cover that expense. Some of you will know what I mean, some of you might go over your head, but that's all good. Just stay on wages and learn, ask some questions and learn a little bit before you go on contract. So that was a bit of a pain, so then we switched to being a company, and then from then on it was fine. We just gave them we just invoiced them for the labour. But then now I choose not to contract people. I'd prefer not to, and I try to avoid it, so it's not really a thing for me now. I just take on my own work. Yeah, I hope that so I'll just check the question. Do you think being on contract wages is better if you're working under someone? So if you're working under someone and all they want to do is treat you like a contractor, then that's all they're going to do. But if they really want you on wages and they're offering a good wage and you don't have any benefit of being like your own entity, then don't worry. Don't just avoid the stress of it. But if you want to be your own entity, where you can come and go as you want, you have that bit of autonomy, because you're supposed to have autonomy as well. I was reading an article in one of those Placemakers magazines, and they said about contractors and like they need to be able to just say, right, I'm not going to be at work tomorrow, who they're contracting to can't deny them that. I mean, hey, they might not ask you to come back, and they can do that as well. But you need to it's the whole anonymity thing. You need to be able to make your own decisions and do your own thing like that. Otherwise, you're still actually, tax department will class you as an employee, even though you think that you're a contractor. So that's apparently what that article was saying about a year ago. I read it. Yeah, so something like that. Cool. So hope that's helped you, Levi the Chippy, and I will have a look at the question box again. So anyone that's just jumped on board, welcome. And what I was saying before is down, I'm getting my finger in the right place, down there is a little question tab. So if you've got any questions, I won't be offended by your questions. If it's inappropriate, I won't share it. But when I say inappropriate, I mean like if I don't really want to answer it, I won't, or whatever, or I might just say something else completely slightly different. But click on that button and it will give you a question tab that you can ask questions. And I'll just because I want to keep up with the comments. Often I get behind and miss out on your guys' interaction with what I'm saying. So if you want to add to what I'm saying and absolutely throw something in the comments as well. But check your questions in that question tab, because it helps me keep a track of where we are as well. And I know how long I've got to ramble about something. So there is another question in there. I'm going to jump in and have another look. And hey, by the way, I really had a bit of fun with that whole what do you assume about me kind of thing. What I liked is it kind of was it was a randomized thing. It wasn't really serious. It was a bit of fun. So you're more than welcome to ask questions that you think might be more fun rather than more serious, and that's cool, and I like it. So Stephen says, still rocking the DeWalt jacket, must be cold in Nelson. It has been really cold today. The actual temperature has been relatively high, but it's been a really cold southerly wind coming through. So generally speaking, yeah, it is cold. I was mainly in the office today anyway, so I still have a heated jacket on because my office doesn't get any sunshine, and it just saves I'm turning a heater on if I just put the heated jacket on, so it's good. And we've got, here we go, just Edwards and Co Builders. If a new client wants to know who you are and see work you've done, what's the best way to approach this in an email? Wants to know who you are and see work you've done. What's the best way to approach this? So Edwards and Co Builders, I would say if you've got Facebook, and I guess you've obviously got Instagram, make sure you're putting up work on there. Is a definite, because that's an easy thing to put a link to. So if you have your URLs, proper URLs, you'd have www.facebook.com/, I guess, Edwards and Co Builders, or whatever your URL is. So that's easy to drag and drop. What I have in my emails is the signature at the bottom has basically a picture and an image of my different accounts and social media, and also things like that. So when anyone gets an email from me, they've got like a thing they can click on. But so if they want to know who you are, and see your work you've done, then that's another thing to have on a website. If you've got a website, have a section that's an about you. What I've been told is don't say we at Christianly Builders are blah blah blah. Say me and I, because they want to know who you are, because you're the boss, you're the person that they're going to be doing business with. And you've got to think about not just what you want them to know, but what's actually going to benefit them to know. So they're going to want to know your experience, what sort of projects you've worked on. So you can put that in a little write-up. And then the other thing too is, once you've given them a bit of like a link to the website, the part of the website, or some a gallery in the website, like you've got a cell phone, just take heaps of photos of stuff, upload it, get that content out there, and just link them to that. And then meeting them in person and actually talking to them in person. Whenever I first meet a client, it's not just about talking about the job, it's sort of about getting to know them as well. Give me a sec, camera. Just stop. This is your first time and you're wondering what that was, my camera only records for 20 minutes, and I like that footage goes on YouTube, so I've got to restart it again. So when I meet a client, I don't just talk about the job. I talk about I sort of ask them a few questions about who they are, what they do, and because you make a conversation, obviously it leads on to more and more. So that's one way. Just make sure it's not all about the job, but about getting to know them and them getting to know you. What you're interested in. Do you play rugby? Do you play soccer? It's like those sorts of things. They want to know a real person who is going to take care of the project. Especially the big one is too, if it's a renovation, you're going to see a lot of them, and they're going to see a lot of you. So you really need to, like, whenever you're talking with them, you've got to talk about, like, I find personally you want to just talk about things that aren't just the job as well, and get to know them, so that when you're there, you're very, it's not awkward, like you kind of very friendly with them. So like, the clients we just had, they want us around for a barbecue. Totally feel cool about that because I know them. I'm quite happy to go and hang out with them. So that's important. And see what you've done. What's the best way to approach this in email? So again, yeah, just those links to those different accounts. That's why it's so easy with Instagram and Facebook. You can just be uploading. Definitely finished stuff. You want to make sure you upload finished stuff. I'm a bit slack on that because I'm too much about trying to make the whole how I'm doing things content, but again, with this kitchen finished, I'll be taking some good photos and putting them up. So hopefully that helps. Anyone else can chime in and let them know let Edwards and Co-Builders know what you're doing as well, and what you think works if it's slightly different from what I've been saying. And so I'll click on this question tab again because there was another question there. So here we go. Tips or thoughts for someone looking at going out on their own. Tips or thoughts for someone looking at going out on their own. It's a good question. So just from my personal experience, because that's all I can really share from, and any advice I've been given from someone else, I would, if I was doing it again, I would be getting, I've actually thought this sort of question through, I would be trying to get involved with 3 of these things. So, and this has all happened pretty much this year for me, and this has been my better year of business. Well, better year. Every year's been great. I mean, it has its ups and downs. You gotta think of it as being great. But to make life easier and less stressful, these 3 things have happened this year, and I would do these from the beginning. Before I say them, you need to be willing to invest money. If you don't have, say, I don't know, 10, 20k sitting in the bank or available to you, you might want to try to save that up first. That's definitely going to help cover any kind of scenarios where you need certain plant or equipment or power tools that you don't have, and it's better to buy them rather than hire them. So try and have some money behind you first, or build up slowly. If you're trying to go big, then you definitely have some money behind you. And then these are the 3 things that for me this year were the biggest sort of game changer that made life easier and more focused for me. I started the year by going to Red QS's one-day QS workshop, and that was designed for builders, to give the builders a better understanding on how to do pricing and how to set up your pricing, and how to not miss out on certain things. So there is a cost to that. So again, it comes back to, like I was saying, you need to have some cash behind you to start with. I would definitely invest in that particular course. I don't know of any others that are doing that. There might be, but if you can get in touch with them, they're done for the year. But do that course, because the biggest thing I found when I left where I was, I'd never been taught how to price properly. There was a passing comment that someone made to me. I think they were a skylight installer, but they're a building company, and he asked me a bunch of questions about pricing to see what I knew, and he realised I didn't know much. So he gave me some advice on how to understand labour charge out rates and how to calculate them off the materials that you have. So that was one part, and it is only one little part of pricing a job properly. And I kind of based most of my pricing up until this year on that. So up until the start of this year, I was doing estimates for people and doing charging out on a flat rate. But there was a whole lot of stuff I was missing, and when I did this course, it filled in all those gaps where when I came away from the jobs where I was thinking, man, I didn't really make much money on that, I thought, wow, I thought I'd make more money. Wow, where's all the money gone that I thought I'd be making? This course covered all that, and I was just like, wow. Like, there is so much that I wasn't putting into a price. And these are things like, they're called preliminaries in general. They're just things that are just expenses of being at the job every day. I mean, you might do a job, and it might be like every day that you're there, excluding wages and materials, it may still cost you $150 to be on that job every day. You know, just as an example. I mean, it's not an exact number or reference or anything, but every day on that job, it might be $150 just to be there because of whatever reason. You could have some fencing on hire, you could have scaffold on hire. That's preliminaries in general, and if you don't understand that, then every day you're losing that money. So then you get a bit of an understanding. So that particular course will just blow your mind if you had no idea about pricing, and it's very relatable. The person that takes the workshop, brilliant, absolutely brilliant at communicating. And I had so many questions, and there's only 2 of us there, and the other guy wasn't really in the same league of as a builder of what we're doing. He was more of a building company owner who was doing development. So I was taking a lot of the time to ask questions because, man, I wanted to learn. And they cover things about how to tag out, so how to tag out properly. So there's so much stuff. You've got to get that right. You've got to get the pricing right. If you're not pricing right, then don't waste your time. So definitely a good course to look at. And if you forget the name or whatever and you want to know what that was, just hit me up. Just ask me anytime, and I'll let you know. The second thing is pricing software. Now, I knew about the software last year, but wasn't in the realm to want to pay for it yet. So I have gone with Builder pricing software, and because I did the QS course, I knew exactly what I was looking at on Builder Price, and it was just so easy to use. It just was natural to sit down and use it, and it's just made life so much easier. And the thing with that too is you get Alan's with the software, you get Alan's labour rates from however many years he's been a QS for. He has developed labour rates for whatever, and there's just so much information there that you go to one tab and you click it and go, oh, I want to do I don't know, stereo cladding. So then you go through and you find stereo cladding, and then we have the labour rate per square metre or per lineal metre, whatever, there. And you can make up your own small prices, or what happens is you get your merchant, it's given your plans, your merchant does the pricing. Sorry, not the pricing. Well, yeah, they do the pricing. They'll do the takeoffs for you. For me, I use Mighty 10 Mega. I send them the plan. They get most of the sub-trades like aluminium joinery, roofing, a whole bunch of stuff like that. And they'll give me if you've never done a merchant takeoff, you don't know this, but those guys that do know this, so just bear with me. But you get a whole lot of, they get the takeoffs done, all the linear meters of materials, square meters of materials, all on one package, and they put the price on it and say, here you go. And with Builder Price, that can be uploaded to Builder Price, so then all of a sudden you get it on your account. It's cloud software. You get whatever the merchant has given you is there, and it has all the labour rates, and it has all the quantities, and all the time and the hours, and it's pretty much all there. All you need to do is you just need to check the materials, make sure they work right from what you've measured, especially on the expensive stuff and the stuff that has a lot of quantities. It's going to cost you a lot of money if you get it wrong. You want to check those, double check, and then you check your labour, and then you do what I was saying, the preliminaries in general, all the site overheads. So then you're working that out, and that's based too on how long you're going to be on the job, which is based on the materials, because the labour rate per square metre obviously equates to a length of hours and days and whatever. So then once you know that, then you're going to say, well, we're on the job for 80 days, so we need to be knowing what our expenses are every day for being on the job. 80 times that, there you go, you got your preliminaries in general. So you're working your way through and you're getting pricing, but it's really basic there. And also the other half of that software is the back costing, where you have you're tracking your job. So your bills, you can import your bills, you can download. So Mighty 10 has an online download hub where you download all your invoices. So you can download all your invoices, assign them to that job, and then you can basically go through and you can assign them not just to the job but to the tasks that you have broken down to. So if you're just doing framing, you can put all the materials for framing into that framing, so then that's the framing portion. So you can get as little as you want or as big as you want, but you can track your project money-wise, time-wise, and make sure you're on track, and make sure you can see if you're running guys, you can see, and they're doing the timesheets, so they do timesheets on their phone, it goes back to that software. You can see if they're running out of time or fluffing around, you can address it. So you need Builder Price. Third thing is professional or business coaching. So we're with the Professional Builder, and yes, there is cost to that. You've got to pretty much be ready to pay, probably for the first few months, be able to pay up front, because if you're not in a necessarily a profitable position as a business where you've got heaps of surplus. Part of the reason why you're going for business coaching is so that you get that surplus of money to play with. So those first few months can be quite tight, so you need that money behind you, like I said before. But you need some sort of business coaching if you haven't been in business before, because there's just so much that there is to learn, and you're always learning in business. But to get that initial startup, there are some amazing systems, amazing processes, and just the whole way to present yourself as a business, how to do sales, how to do marketing. It's better to get someone else to teach you how to do that. And so we're with a Professional Builder, and they've got the history, they've got the builders there, they've got the team and the support networks happening. So the content's great there. So definitely recommend that. For more info on that, hit me up again as well. So that's what we're doing. They're the three things that have made a big difference to my business. And again, if I was to start my business again, or if I was starting from scratch, I would have loved it. I would have loved it if someone said to do these three things. There's obviously more things to do, but these three things, because what happens is you meet industry people in these three things. Industry people that can give you advice for where you're at. They can answer your questions, and they can guide you at each step. So I've got good relationships with the organisations behind these three things: the QS, Red QS, builder price and the professional builder. So yeah, I'm doing really well now with my business, and I'm really excited about what's coming. So there you go. That was a really long answer, and I have actually thought that one through because I knew someone would ask it, and I really want to give a good answer for it. And so that's the thing. Some of these ideas and concepts and ideas, I do think them through because I know someone will ask them at some stage. So you'll know when you hit the right question, when I've got, like, I'm pretty clear on what I'm saying. So, but don't be afraid to ask any questions. Welcome to those that have joined in, and thank you to those that are still here. Hang on, I'll clear that. So Morgan, too good, awesome, bro. I'm glad I can be of help, and yeah, just DM me if you want to know any more. Down here, guys, if you're new on the feed tonight, question banner, ask the questions down there. I'm trying to keep up with the comments, and it's been pretty good. Yeah, I'm up to date with the comments, so that's great. So there's a couple more questions. So I'm gonna. Everyone cool about that last one? I think there's heaps of info there. I might have to make that its own separate video or something on YouTube or on IGTV or something like that, because yeah, I mean, like if you want to go on your own, man, if you got what it takes, do it. It is rewarding, but it is hard. You have to understand it's really, really hard. And there'll be times where you will feel like you don't want to do it anymore. But you gotta push through. You gotta just stay focused, and you gotta keep the dream alive. You have to be able to. Well, you basically have to be the only one that can keep your own dream alive. Because if you can't keep it alive, then no one else can do it for you. So you have to be quite headstrong and understand that you need to have a strong will as well. But definitely have heaps of support around you. Okay, so back to some questions. But hey guys, keep asking questions. Definitely, if you had questions about what I was just saying, throw them in the question tab. Right, so here we go. We will go. Katie May asked this quite a while ago, so here we go. The fave builder's lunch. Lol, is always the typical pie. Oh, it depends on the day, to be honest. If it's a cold, miserable day, I really like hot food. So if that's a pie or some hot chips or something, man, that just goes down a treat. If it's middle of summer, I don't actually eat as much on a hot summer's day. I don't know why. But some sandwiches and a lot of fruit tends to be my favourite on a summer's day. And I shout out to my wife, who makes some pretty awesome sandwiches. She makes some really good sandwiches. Like I try, and I cannot make them as good as her. I'm hoping she's watching this, because maybe that's like one of those public displays of affection. We'll call it a public display of gratitude. So hopefully that resounds with her, and she might want to keep making me sandwiches for my lunch. But also a variety in my lunchbox. Like I don't like having the same thing every day, or one thing. I like to have a few different things, so maybe about 5 or 6 selections throughout the day. So maybe some nuts and maybe a couple of different types of fruit. Definitely in the summer, the fruit has to be juicy type of fruit. Some sandwiches are good. Maybe a thing of noodles if I just want like a quick hit or something if I'm in a rush. So yeah, quite a variety. That's my my preference. And thanks for hanging around there, Katie May, for that answer. Well done, and go Juanita. And she says, not very often does she make me sandwiches, and no, it's not very often. She reckons it's about 3 times a year, which probably sounds about right. I think if we weren't both as busy, she might have more time to maybe make my lunch, but she's actually quite a hard worker and very busy herself. So I don't complain much. And here we go. And Juanita said, "This is a hint, to make you more Sammies." Yeah, I think maybe a few more sandwiches would be good. But honestly, like to be honest, you know what I'm trying to say. Back in the day when I don't know what's different with us now, but we used to have always have leftovers, and maybe it's because we're kids now, but chucking the leftovers in a container and eating them the next day at work was just primo. But the other thing too is my day is so different from what it was when I was on wages. Like on wages, it was 10 o'clock smoko, 12 o'clock, 12:30 lunch, and then 3 o'clock smoko. And it's just every day the same thing. Nowadays, sometimes I might even just stop once, and it might be stopping at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's just different. It's just really different. Depends on what job I am. Okay. So Katie May says, take a toolbox of snacks. Actually having like a pantry on site. Maybe maybe I can have like a pantry, a lock-up pantry, with like the things that I can just have if I want, like some cans of food or something. That if I've run out of food for the day, and I'm really hungry, I can chuck it on the little barbecue. Got a little barbecue cooker. Just set that up on the site. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe I'll do that. All right. So question: we've got favorite place to buy tools. Now, it's a tricky one because I just buy wherever and whenever. But mainly, I wouldn't say it's my favourite place, but this place I seem to be buying tools from the most is Mitre 10. And Katie Mitchell said, charge people, haha, extra business idea. And then Instruments and Electrical said, make a drawer in the ute van for food. I like those ideas. So back to what I was saying, usually Mitre 10 because I am in Mitre 10 frequently, picking up materials or whatever, or just, wandering around the aisles and mindlessly looking at things that I do want. But yeah, that seems to be where I get a lot of my stuff. And the thing is, I'll probably just chuck it on my account, and that's probably part of the reason why. Probably not a very good thing. But in Nelson, recently Toolshed opened, so I probably will be checking them out next time I'm needing to buy something specific. Bunnings, I did post about Bunnings last week, if you saw that. But we all agree that they're good for tools and tool pricing. And it's a matter of different stores have a different range as well. So some of them have what the others don't. The other thing too is I do buy online. When I first started my business, I actually bought a few things secondhand online, just so that I had them. Like my first rotary hammer drill was a secondhand one. My nail gun, secondhand. Because you want to have money, you need money at the start, but you don't want to use it all up. So yeah, that's one thing, buying secondhand stuff. I have got a lot of secondhand tools actually. Even my camera that I bought the other day is secondhand. So Instruments and Electrical, or buy a 12-volt fridge, could do that too. Maybe you could modify something and with the DeWalt batteries or something like that I've got. Maybe like a 18-volt fridge or a 12-volt step down. Actually, here we go, camera. You kind of know what time we are on a live feed when I reach over the camera. So we're done one already, so that's 20 minutes, and we're at 40 minutes already. Far out. We're over halfway. The adapter here is actually a 12-volt output. So there you go. Maybe that's something that can be modified to run some of the 12-volt camping equipment that you get. It's an option. And it's got just a little easy unplug there. Actually, I'll probably just turn my jacket off then, but I don't need it on. It's fine. Right, so that was, my favourite place. Probably not necessarily favourite, more convenient. The word is convenient there. So, yeah, convenient place to buy tools. Few folks there. Welcome to anyone. Give me a wave or hit the. You guys have got a heart button on your screen, eh? Check a heart up. Let me know you're here. Or a wave. Do a wave. Everyone do a wave if you're still here. There's 6 of you. I want to know who's here. Give me a wave. And we're done on the questions there. So, tell me something. I actually can't think. We're just waiting. Questions? It's Sparky Chicks here. Hey, how you doing? Come on, guys, wave. Try not to let it go awkward in any kind of way. We've got Totra. You're here. Good on ya. Whereabouts you based, mate? Totra.ffn. Whereabouts you based? Are you Chippy? Juanita Rose is here. Instruments and Electrical is here. What's the agenda today, mate? I forgot you were on tonight. Oh, well, it's been a doozy, mate. We have we have been going pretty strong from the beginning, actually. I cannot remember any of it. What was the first questions? There was questions about contract, whether it's better to be on contract or wages if you're working for someone. And as usual, I just elaborate on it. Yep, so there's that. You could watch. I don't know. Should I post the? Should I just post the replay, or should I just reposting it and just make you all go on YouTube and up my views on YouTube when you want to watch it? I was saying before, actually, I uploaded today last time's Fortnite one. That's how delayed I was with it. But I actually went through and I put the time codes for some of the main topics that we talked about. So any of the topics that we talk about tonight, I will put a time code on so you can get to it easily if you want to bypass all the chatter, or you can put it to the side. Actually, tell me, I know there's only 7 of you there. Tell me, do you listen to podcasts? And if you do, how do you listen to podcasts? Because I am considering exporting audio from these as well and making them like a podcast, and go somewhere from there. It's quite exciting what you can do with social media and online these days, and I'm trying to maximise the most of it. And I guess when I do one thing, I like to be able to use it for more than one thing. So when I film something at work, I can put a quick Instagram post, but it's all part of a greater video that will be coming later. So it's kind of doing, making more, what's the word? 2 birds with 1 stone, all that kind of thing. So a few people coming on. Just if you've got any questions, you want to know anything, throw that little question tab there. You click on that, you can put a question. And if you actually want it to be anonymous, I probably should say that, because let me know, when I put those questions up, did it have the person's name for who was asking the question? Because I don't want to post something if someone was just trying to be anonymous. So if you write anonymous, then that's good. So Spotify podcasts. Oh, sorry, I missed. There we go. Yeah, mate, I'm thinking of subbing. Not 100% sure on how to go about it, but I do have potential a lot of work available. Because the thing is, I don't really know how it works in the electrical industry for subcontracting and stuff. Just more experience with builders. So let me know how you get on with that. See what it's like if you do it. The thing is having the work available, and I guess for the building boom, when I went out on my own, there is a building boom, so there was plenty of work, and people were crying out. Like when I actually asked the builder if he had any work for me, he said, "Can you start tomorrow?" So I said, "Well, no, I've got to give 2 weeks' notice." So definitely when the work's there, if you want to make any moves and go any further in life like that, it's the best time to do it. So but just make sure that you do it intentionally, and you also do it with the understanding that things could get quiet, and when you get quiet, you need to have some fairly robust marketing and sales systems so that you win when you're pricing up against everyone. Because when things get quiet, there's a whole lot of people that have gone out on their own or out in business, and they're going to want work, and it gets quite savage. I haven't experienced that as a business owner yet, but I'm mindful of it, and I'm building my business so that I guess we're prepared for those scenarios. But yeah, it's good to be prepared for the what do they say, for the feast or famine, that kind of thing. So maybe I'll throw it out there. What are you guys enjoying the most about my I guess my Instagram, any of my content that I'm putting out? What are your favourites? What are your least favourites? You could, if you don't want to say that in front of everyone, you could say it in a question tab and say don't post, but you could say what your least favourite thing is. I'm trying to, I guess, keep it as diverse as I can, because I know that I've got a diverse following, but I'm trying to keep it very much trade central. Trade Central, oh my gosh, it's like a business in Nelson. Trying to keep it not totally niche and only for builders, but I guess trying to keep it available for everyone. And I noticed too that my stories don't get viewed that much at the start of the week, and I feel like maybe that's why people weren't aware that I had a live stream on tonight, because we've only really had about 8 or 9 people watching compared to 21 last time. I don't remember the exact number. Okay, maybe I do. But yeah, just trying to think. Cool. So I guess since no one's asking any questions, you must be fairly content. What I might say is, latest review has not been published yet on DeWalt's page, but I have done a review of this heated jacket. So that's coming up. That's something I've been working on. Quite proud of, actually, working on my videos with a new camera, and I guess I always like to just keep improving. Whenever I do something, I always try and I'm always like we're always our biggest critics, but I always like to improve what I'm doing. So I've been improving on my videos. So did that cut-off saw. A few things I wasn't happy with, so I made sure I improved on them this time around, and was quite happy with what I did. Also, I was it last week? I was doing putting a door handle in a lock. I thought, oh man, this might be a pretty cool video to make, but I was pretty rusty on how to do it, and so I had to look at a YouTube video on how to do it, and then make a YouTube video on how to do it. I don't know, is that plagiarism? I mean, is that actually plagiarism? I'm not doing exactly the same, and it's not like I'm just doing a carbon copy, but I don't know. I'll probably do it in a different way, a way that's more like me. But it actually was funny because my camera went flat, so I actually need to buy another battery for my camera, because I'd stopped what I was doing and charged my camera for about an hour and a half. So anyway, I did something else, came back and carried on, but it was late in the afternoon, and then there was that sunset that happened, so I pretty much didn't get it finished. So it was a door lock that took me 2 days, or was done over 2 days. But it was pretty cool, came out nice. So we've got a bit more activity happening here, guys, so this is cool. Welcome, guys that are jumping in. We've got a question tab down here. You'll see this little question mark thing. So if you've got any questions, anything you want to know, anything you want me to ramble about, throw it down there. So we've got so instruments, electrical, all the different work. Hard to narrow it down because it's all interesting. Yeah. And then you reckon it's worth rocking the GoPro like that mini build guy, get the old point of view going on site. I've done that a little bit, and I quite like it for doing. I actually put it on its side, vertical. So I guess not like the content I'm making for later on. It's not really. I'm not trying to do the point of view thing for that. For me, it's just clip it on, press record. The battery lasts for maybe an hour. I just go for it, do what I'm doing. So there's a few stories that I put up. And yeah, just gonna be hammering, just doing something. It's just cool to watch. But yeah, for me, I can't be bothered mounting it properly so that it gets the best view. I just set the camera up and point at what I'm doing, and it gets it. So, but yeah, point of view is definitely cool. Chuck on the GoPro, and especially when you're doing something a bit different, but interesting. And we've got a question here from Backwards Builder. What's the jacket like? Is it worth the money? I've got the review coming out. I don't know if I want to spoil the review. I have made a point in the review, sort of why you would want to buy it. It definitely keeps you warm when you're working, and we've had some cold days when I've been at work where basically no sunshine and cold wind, and yeah, you're just warm. You're not distracted by the cold, and you just get into it. I don't know, I just think of comparing to like when I have been cold on site or have to have so many heaps of layers to stay warm. You just don't feel like working. Definitely, there's one day it was really early in the morning. We were doing a concrete pour in the middle of town, and it was freezing, man. Me and my workmate, we actually grabbed pieces of polystyrene. We're doing polyblock wall, and we put the polystyrene up our inside our jerseys. So we had these big padded things. We put them in the back because we were waiting for the concrete pump to arrive or something like that. And just standing there with polystyrene panels in the front and back actually was warm. It was really weird. It was like this full-on insulation in between you, and it was real toasty. And the other guys were laughing at us, but we were warm. So I definitely believe in being as warm as you can at work. And the heated jacket means you can do it without having so many layers on. But watch the video. I'll post a link when it's out, but it'll be on DeWalt New Zealand's Facebook page. But there's you can decide from that. And if you've got any more questions, then ask me. And yeah, I just don't want to spoil the video because I know I put a lot of work into it. So we've got a few questions here. Let's have a look. Right, here we go. My wife has actually come to my aid here. She's actually asked me 3 questions, and it's really great. These are things that I can ramble on. Okay. Right. What's the next big purchase you want to make? Actually, I don't know. Why did I click on that one? Oh, I want to buy a van. That would be my biggest purchase. Tell me, guys. I've seen a lot of the Nissan vans on the road now, the newer model ones, and I just don't remember seeing them as much. Those guys that are driving vans, I know everyone just defaults to saying high ace, definitely high ace, and that's cool. I get that too. But is there something about the Nissans? Is there something better about it? Or not better? Is there something that is it a case of the price? I don't know, but I'm kind of looking at either. It'll be a case of what money I have at the time, and what I can get at the time as well, because I have a very specific request, which is basically having the because when you start looking at vans on Trade Me, there's just so many, and they're all the same thing. They've got the front seats, but there's just completely empty in the back. But I would prefer to have a bench seat that I can fold out, because, well, you know, it'll be our second vehicle, and in a pinch, if we need to chuck the family in there, we can. Not necessarily the safest, but we can. So yeah, a van, definitely my next big purchase, and I'm saving money up for that. Next question here we have got. What would you change about yourself if you could change one thing? Ooh, I think Juanita could probably think of a few things. Wait, let's drop some. I think for me, I do get overwhelmed sometimes. Like, for me, I'm a bit of an overthinker. It hasn't been so bad in recent months. I kind of was saying to Anita tonight, actually, that I think that maybe it's because I've spent a lot of time thinking about what to do on Instagram, and thinking about what I want to do there and how I want to do that to the best of my abilities. And I think, and I've been doing that a lot in the last sort of 8 months, obviously, and putting a lot of effort into it, because it does actually take a lot of time to do what I'm doing on Instagram. I might be doing it wrong. Maybe I'm taking too much time. But I think what I've found is it's actually distracted me from things that maybe used to just perk over my mind too much. But I would love to change that about myself, that I don't overthink things or ponder on things, and I guess it's that maybe it's the anxiety thing where you start creating situations in your mind that aren't real, but you're just thinking about it. But I guess the way to that is change something I can change, and that is by having sort of like a mental response to that. Sometimes you get that sort of feeling like you just feel down about something, and it's on your mind. You just kind of feel like you're annoyed at something, but you don't even know what you're annoyed at. And sometimes it might just be something real small, but it makes you think you're annoyed at everything. And I think those are the sort of things that I feel like I've actually been improving. But it's having those mental responses where, when you're feeling like that, I actually had a list of things that I would think about that were not the things that were bothering me in my mind, but thinking about business-related stuff. What are my goals in my business? How am I going to make these goals happen? What sort of content do I want to make? What do I need to do? And as I start thinking about those things, then I forget about the other stuff, and I start getting excited about positive things that are, again, not actually scenarios that are happening at the time, but the scenarios that I'm creating in my mind, because I guess I feel like with everything there's like a positive and a negative to it. So I guess the real simple explanation is with emotions, I guess, like anger. Everyone thinks anger is a negative thing. It can be a negative thing if you don't control your anger properly, but it can also be a positive thing, because when you get angry, you get like this release of adrenaline that can give you like the extra boost of energy to do something about your situation. Like someone might punch you in the head, and you get angry, you know. But the thing is you're getting a burst of adrenaline to so that you can either do your fight or flight, you can throw a punch back, or you can do a runner. Now I don't get into fights or scrapping. I'm just using an example. But I think that's the thing. Like, things have a positive and a negative. So I think with overthinking things, it definitely has a negative side, but I think it has a positive. So you've just got to control it and make the choices on the right direction. So if you're overthinking about something negative, then you want to control that by filling your mind with something that you want to overthink about positive. So definitely if you're in business or something like that, you're planning something, then start thinking about those things and planning those positive things, and those scenarios play out in your mind. And I'll tell you what, those things will happen. Everything that's happening with me and Instagram, with my business as well, they're all things and scenarios that I had running through my mind 8 months ago. Like all of this, that you're having the live feeds and that they start with a small idea, and then because I think that scenario out, and then it starts thinking over days, over weeks, then I get to the point I should do live streams, and I should do this with it. And then once I do a live stream, then I start thinking more and more about how, hey, maybe we should start putting it on YouTube. Or so when you're overthinking on the negative things, have a list of things that you can trigger your mind onto something more positive, and you'll get a bit more control. And I think that's probably been something I have actually changed. So what would you change about yourself if you could change one thing? And I think I have been changing that now that I look back. So there you go. That was pretty cool. Thank you, Juanita, for highlighting that for me. And I'll just check what she said there. What is your favourite tool? My favourite tool, it's hard to sort of narrow it down to a favourite tool because there's so many options and opportunities for tools. Oh my gosh, I think we're going to run out of time here. I won't answer that one. That's just a too common question. So we've got any tips on what to look for when starting an apprenticeship, as I'm currently doing a carpentry course. And then we've got, same up north, heaps of the Nissan caravans around now. I'm not sure if it's because the new Hiace is ugly as. So, Totra, I'm going to screenshot that question. See how that works. I'm going to answer that in the story afterwards, because this live feed's going to end pretty much any second now. So Overthinker, yep, I hear you. So, yeah, man, if you let me know if some of those tips, if you knew about those, or if you try them and if it works for you, because I'd love to know if that was, anything that I kind of give advice for, whatever. I love the feedback, because if I know it works for someone, then I know it's good feedback to give as well. It's not just my ideas, and then I can help pass it on to someone else as well. So we are pretty much like, how I said about the camera, how it records only every 20 minutes. Well, it's coming up to the next 20, so that's 60, coming up to 60 minutes. These live streams go for 60 minutes. Hope you guys had a good time on this one. It was really good. I enjoy it. I always get nervous that there's going to be nothing to talk about. Hey, we got a little bit quiet in the middle in there, but we managed to move on. So the camera's just stopped recording, so I'm going to push record again, so that I can get a really cool outro. So yeah, guys, keep on keeping on and doing your thing, and post things up so we can all see what you're doing, especially if I follow you. I don't think I follow everybody. It's a bit tricky. Yeah, so maybe I'll go back to your question, Totra. Just seems to be any tips on what to look for when starting my apprentice, starting as apprentice, I'm currently doing a carpentry course. I guess a bit of a broad question, but if you haven't got an employer yet, just don't be too concerned about getting an apprenticeship. Make sure you just get in and get working, and show yourself to be valuable to them. It's not all about buying tools either. I know there's a lot of posts on Instagram and that about tools and what tools to buy, and everyone's talking about tools. Don't get too caught up about buying tools just yet. There will be ones that you require, but just take your time and don't get caught up in tool acquisition syndrome. Be very teachable. Make sure you're teachable. We've got 25 seconds remaining. And just put in a good, solid day's work. Be helpful where you can and ask lots of questions. There's no stupid questions, and that's absolutely true. Don't just not ask a question. If you don't know something, ask the question. Even if you feel like you're going to be out of place asking it, It's so appreciated. So 5 seconds. Thanks, guys, for watching. See you next time. And on YouTube, thank you for watching. And if you got this far, well done. I hope this benefited you. And throw me some comments, any questions that you want to know, or any, I guess, you want me to elaborate on any of the topics that I talked about. Absolutely follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook as well, and subscribe, because there is more content that is coming. We're building up into something pretty exciting, pretty amazing. Thanks.